A baguette!
John's fucking excited.
Haley! Oh,
It's okay.
it's a croissant. I want to drop it. Apple? What is this? Oh, it's yogurt. We have so much food in here.
We have
Ooh, is this a muffin?
a muffin.
Aw, it's so
We
cute.
have some
Ooh, gotta get that American food.
special table.
Nutella! What is Nutella?
Jam. We have strawberry jam.
We have confiture. Ooh, yes. Day two? Day two. Ooh, you're blurry. Day two. There you go. Going to, where are we going? Paris and, well, we're already in Paris. Eiffel Tower and Le Louvre. Yay.
And the 15th district. You might have noticed a lot of barges full of sand like here in Lafarge. That's where all the workers come along the Seine River to get their furniture, eventually sands or cements. Like here on the right hand side. And past the next bridge. So the level of the sand is still pretty high. It was very high this past winter. You will see in the middle of the river. The river means, what's the name of the river? Seine, S-E-I-N-E, which comes from the Latin, sequana. Do you know what sequana? Sequana is a snake, and if you don't like the snake, if you look at the map, especially the northern part of France or northwestern part of France, you would see that it's not a straight river; it's a river.
Wait, God, where are we going? Okay. All in its beauty. Oh my goodness. Guys, where are we going? Whew. So beautiful.
Built like a mechano game, an erector set, in 2 years, 2 months and 5 days. When it was built, it was the tallest monument in the world, just after the monument in Washington DC. And then it was the Chrysler Building in New York, and then it was again the Eiffel Tower in 2008, where they changed the radio antenna on top of it. And now it's the Khalifa Tower in Dubai, which is 2.5 the size of the Eiffel Tower. So just to give you an idea, so now our icon, because the Eiffel Tower has become the icon of Paris, it's a very, very small compared to this big tower in Dubai. Were made outside Paris in Eiffel factory. Then they were brought to the working site on horse-drawn carriages, and then they were so put up together so by the workers, which were called journeymen. And as I told you, in 2 years, 2 months and 5 days. You will see golden names just at the base of the first level. So these golden names are the names of 72 scientists. There were mathematicians, physicians, engineers, and so on, to whom Gustave Eiffel wanted to pay tribute. So you can see the first level, then you can see scaffolding and a net. So because they are studying the paints and the layers of the paints to know what they are going to do with it. Then you can see the second level, which is going to be restored so in the next month, and then you have the top floor. We have two restaurants. The first one is called 58 because it's 58 meters above the ground, and the second one on the second level is the most famous one. It's called Jules Verne, the famous French writer. And so you have to book 3 months in advance if you want to go there. And lunch is only 200 euros per person without drinks. Just to give you an idea, because the chef is Alain Ducasse, and I don't remember how many stars it's got in the Michelin guide. So you have two different restaurants on the tower. Yes, do you know our national day? Which date it is?
July 14th.
July the 14th, yes. And so we call it, you call it Bastille Day. And so for Bastille Day, there is a concert in the evening at 9 o'clock under the Eiffel Tower. And then there is the fireworks. The fireworks which is shot from the Eiffel Tower for the last 2 or 3 years at 11 o'clock. It's absolutely beautiful. And about 500,000 of people are sitting on the grass, so behind the Eiffel Tower, and the military school, which is in the end over there. Because the grass, where you were a few minutes earlier, was the parade ground for the military students, for the students of the military school, which is being restored with the flag at the end to the right. So we are going to...
Oh, cafe au lait avec sucre, and it looks so good. Enjoy it. Yes, 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 yes.
Jewelry district. And we are now on the Opera's Avenue, Avenue de l'Opéra. You can see we have no trees on this avenue. We have two reasons for that. One is that the emperor was scared of assassination, so he didn't want anybody to hide in the tree, so behind the leaves, and to shoot at him on his carriage. And the other reason is from the architect, Charles Garnier, who didn't want anything to interfere with the view of his masterpiece, which is behind us. Because the emperor was living ahead of us in the Tuileries Palace, which disappeared, but which is not very far from the Louvre. And so when he was supposed to go to the opera, because he never saw it finished, so he was driving on this avenue and he could enjoy the view on the opera house. Good. So it was not made for our big coach, but you see, Sunny is used to it. So yeah, well done. So we say fingers in the nose in French, very French. And we are now in what we call Napoleon's courtyard. Why Napoleon? Because we have the arch to the right, which was commissioned by Napoleon after the victory at Austerlitz. And to the left you have the famous glass pyramid, which was commissioned by François Mitterrand, executed by the Chinese-American architect I.M. Pei. This is the new entrance to the Louvre. The Louvre was a fortress, and then a palace, and then a museum, and still a palace. And now it's only a museum. It was also the Ministry of Economy and Finances until 1993. You are going to visit the highlights of the Louvre this afternoon. So you will be under the glass pyramid. And to the left here, where you see the boxwood, where you see the roundabout, you have the inverted pyramid. And look to the right, through the arch, you have what we call the royal perspective. The Tuileries Gardens, the Concorde Square, the Champs-Élysées, the Arch of Triumph. So this is absolutely beautiful. So the Louvre was begun in 1200 and finished in 1860. You have an idea. It's the most visited museum in the world with a bit more than of exhibition, and you have 40 acres with all the courtyards and the buildings and the wings and so on. It's a very, very long. It's more than 500 yards long. This is what we call la Galerie du bord de l'eau, so the gallery along the river. So the part to the left was made by Napoleon the First, and the part that we are going to see now to the left was made by Henry IV. So 1800 behind us, 1600 ahead of us, and the last part that we saw already was made by Louis XIV in 1600. Okay, so you can see that the building was enlarged and transformed by all the kings during all the centuries between 1200 and 1860. Look at the bridge. It's now a transparent bridge, which I prefer, I must say personally. It was the famous Love Locks Bridge until 2 years ago. But we had more than 60 tons, 60 tons of padlocks on the bridge. And one part of the bridge fell in the river. Imagine if it had fallen on a riverboat. So that's why the municipality decided to get rid of them. And so one part is now exhibited in a special collection. And the biggest part was sold in auction, and they collected 250,000 euros, which will be given to 3 associations to help the migrants, okay, the immigrants.
Here?